Okay, I'm gonna cut my hair. I'm looking fabulous, I know. Everybody's jealous. I just showered and now I'm going to give myself a haircut. Yeah, I'm a good old-fashioned beauty school dropout. Yep, I went to cosmetology school when I was 17. I've told this story before if you've watched my podcast on Meanwhile at the Castle. I mean, it's a very long story. I didn't really tell the whole thing. I just mentioned that 4 months before graduating, I decided it wasn't for me. I was young and immature, not always making great decisions. So I didn't finish. But the basics, all that information is still there. I can cut my hair, though it's very luxurious to me to go have somebody else cut it. In the end, though, I do like how I cut my hair best, but it's really nice if I don't have to. So I'm in the bathroom. I've got mirrors that fold out so I can see all the way around. And usually for the hairline, for the back, I have to have my daughter come in and do that for me. But she is gone to work. So I'm going to start a little bit longer and then I'll have her come and even it out for me. Because that's the part I just can't do myself. So this is all very exciting, I know. You probably saw that and how crooked it was. I have no idea. My daughter will fix it though. I like the back to kind of come down to a little V, so I'm starting to do that. This is a feat in acrobatics. you have to like, actually maybe not acrobatics, you have to be a contortionist in order to cut your own hair. So I'm gonna work on this, and later on next week I probably will be dyeing it. Okay, finished. Now I gotta clean up, get ready for the day. Okay, it's time for my favorite part of the day. So I'm going to open up my Christmas countdown calendars. I thought I would tell you a little bit though about who gave me this one. This is from my friend Mandy. She lives about an hour away from my house, and I met her through my podcast and yarn dyeing business, but then I got to meet her in person when I was a vendor at our local fiber festival, and it was so fun to meet her. And so there's a group of us locally here that we have all swapped calendars with each other, and we just rotate each year who we're going to swap with. And I love that she was so thoughtful in just personalizing it, because she knows that I love Disney vintage things. So this is a vintage suitcase that she has painted and decoupaged and added Alice in Wonderland illustrations, and it's just so perfect and beautiful. So I just love how thoughtful that is. And I mentioned before that this is from Yarnberry Yarns, who is my sister, and I was sad I didn't buy her advent calendar, her Christmas countdown last year, and this year I was going to do it, and then I ended up not getting it, and last minute she ended up having an extra one, so I jumped at that chance because everything she dyes is beautiful. So I'm going to open them up today now. Time for Mandy's. Okay, today is, what is today? 4, obviously. Today is day 4. And there's 2 bags in here today. So this one's soft, so I'm gonna say that one's the yarn. Oh, happiness is where you are. And it sparkles too. Oh, that is so fun and so sweet. I can't tell if you can see this in the camera. I'm gonna check. Oh. And I'm storing them right now all together like this. Love it. Okay, let's see what's in the other bag. I love that tropical things. Tropical washi tape. I used to keep a bullet journal faithfully and really decorate it, and I haven't, but for the last year maybe, but what I wanted to start doing was a knitting journal. So this will be really cute with that. Thank you, I love it. Okay, time for my elf one. Okay, so we're on number 4. How many lines are there? 1, 2, 3. Now I gotta try and fold back to the next one so I can see. I saw a peak of green. Oh, green. Okay, so this one is a tonal green with light flecks, like speckles, just really light speckles, and it's got a chartreuse and a minty green in it. Let's see if we can see. Very pretty. Okay, what's the name of the colorway? Papa Elf. Yep, of course, of course. So this is how I have mine stored. So I'm going to take this off and tuck it in so I know. So I think I'm going to start a crocheted granny stripe blanket with this one. And with this one, I'm gonna wait until the end because I think I'm gonna do some color work projects with this. This one is a little bit more rustic yarn, just a little bit, not much, but it'll have a little more grip for color work. And so I'll wait until I have a good selection, and then I can do some hats and some mittens, things like that. So I think that's what I've decided to do with my minis. So I'm just trying to decide if I want to yarn manage, like color manage, or if I want to do it in order that I opened them. So I'll probably wait because I've got a couple of Christmas projects that I'm going to start on, and so I don't really need to worry about that now because I won't have the time to start it yet, but that's the plan, at least right now. You know, I can change my mind if I want to. All right, let's get moving. I've got to go make some bread. Okay, so I'm going to be making some bread today. I've got some honey. So I need to be on a gluten-free and dairy-free diet. I've been doing gluten-free for since 2013. So wow, I can't believe it's been that long. Just becomes a normal way of life for me. Nothing unusual. But dairy-free, I started doing that a year and a half ago. And at the same time, I also cut out eggs and almonds and almond milk. And since, well, in the last 2 months, I've been slowly adding back eggs into my diet and almonds and almond milk. I did a food sensitivity testing, and it showed that I was fine on it. So I thought I'll attempt adding it back in, and I did it really slowly and seems to be good. So that's great. So now I'm only worrying about gluten-free and dairy-free. But this bread is made with yeast. Now I'm using a natural sourdough starter. I said it's made with yeast. Did I say that? It's made with wheat flour. I don't know what I'm saying. But several years ago, I had some friends. They were all making sourdough bread, and they said, we know a lot of people that can eat it that can't have wheat. And I didn't want to try it for a long time. I just didn't want to be sick. And I waited until I waited for a year or two before I was willing to try it. And then on a weekend when I knew I would have some time to be ill, because I had to plan out time to be ill just in case, I tested it out. I was fine. I've since learned, now this is just me, I have learned that the sourdough starter, when you let it ferment, when you make dough with it and you let it ferment, this is my understanding, that it breaks down the phytic acid that my body struggles to break down. And so I seem to be fine eating it. I do have a friend who has celiac disease. Now she makes sure hers sits for 24 hours before she will bake it, to make sure that it's had time to break down all the phytic acid, and she's been fine on it. But I don't recommend anybody just, that has celiac disease just eating this, and you don't want to mess with your health. Be careful, talk to your doctor. She went in and had tests before and after she had eaten it to make sure it wasn't doing damage. So, I'm not saying that you should go do that, that you should be eating this. But people ask me all the time, I thought you needed gluten-free. I can use this. So Let's see. But this is not a traditional sourdough dough. I'm essentially making a regular loaf for the most part, just switching out the traditional baker's or instant yeast with a sourdough starter. And then of course it takes longer to rest. I do sometimes make the traditional sourdough bread, which is a very different process and different texture. So I use, I have this whole grain flour that is from Benegrain, Benegrain, and it is sprouted whole wheat flour. But whole wheat is very dense, and when you're not doing the traditional method, it's can be pretty heavy. So I only use a little bit, and then the rest I use just a plain white flour. But this flour, because it's been sprouted, the protein structure is a little different, and it absorbs water a lot more efficiently, so you don't need as much of it. I do sometimes make my loaves entirely with this flour if I'm the only one eating it, because I don't mind it to be dense, but if anybody else in the family is going to eat it, they don't want that. Now this is going to be make 2 loaves, but I'm only going to bake one, and the other one I'm going to use as crust for pizza tonight. I use this dough for everything, for cinnamon rolls, for pizza crust, to make rolls. I've made other things with it. My brain has gone blank all of a sudden, and then just for bread. I'm using my grandmother's Bosch mixer. It's going to be noisy. So I'm just going to let it sit for the day. I'm starting way too late, so the loaf isn't going to be ready until I go to bed. So you won't really see it today. I can use the dough for my pizza though, when I shape the loaves for raising, or the one loaf that I'm going to do. I usually cook my pizza on a pizza stone out on my grill, but since it is freezing cold, I'm going to do it in my oven today. All right, next up, gotta give Luna a bath. That's exhausting. Okay, I was gonna give Luna a bath, but that never happened. I realized I didn't decorate the tree downstairs. I didn't show you the tree skirt that I finished. And I went to go decorate the tree and plugged in the lights, and they were getting hot. I was like, no, that's not a good thing. So I went to get new lights, and now I can decorate the tree skirt, but I gotta take a pancake break first because I'm starving. So I'm gonna make myself some Mickey Mouse pancakes and then decorate the tree.
First ornament. What was my first ornament?
Oh no, I'm confused because I was thinking it was the baby in the bassinet, but that's Ella's.
What?
Nadia was trying to remember which was her first ornament.
Was it this one? This one just says Nadia. It doesn't say a year.
Could be. Process of elimination. Laid them all out in order, though you already have some on the tree. Okay, here's the tree skirt. So I put down some vinyl underneath, I'm going to trim it into a circle. I just haven't yet. And of course all the needles are falling while we're decorating. But, no. But it turned out really pretty. I love it. All right, there's no video tomorrow. I'm going to have a day with my husband. So we'll see you on Sunday.